I don't want to talk about it. What I do want to talk about, Peter, the people want to know.
Don't make me talk about it. Don't make me talk about this game.
Do you want to talk about God of War? Everybody wants to know what everybody else thinks.
Don't make me talk about God of War.
Okay, do you want to talk about Sonic Frontiers?
Yeah, let's talk about Sonic Frontiers. I haven't
you
played Sonic Frontiers.
Neither have I. I'm waiting for it to be cheaper than a fucking Crunchwrap Supreme at goddamn Taco Bell, and then I'll probably buy it. That's about the value it has for me.
Crunchwrap Supremes are no longer worth the investment.
They're so bad now.
They used to be so good. They're not good anymore.
I don't think you can have the word crunch in the descriptor of your food item when it doesn't crunch anymore.
It doesn't crunch anymore. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm happy about that you've noticed this.
I mean, you know.
Yeah, they're like soggy, and I don't know if that's because they're reheating them.
I think it's because they realize that nobody buys one; they buy like 3 and then just eat them like chips.
Yeah,
you know. I had McDonald's for the first time in like 15 years on Friday.
I think McDonald's has fallen apart. I had McDonald's a few weeks ago, and it first off, it took forever. Yeah. First off, it took like 15 minutes. Second off, it wasn't very good. And third off, it was expensive.
I don't care how bad food is if it's cheap. When bad food is expensive, I am unhinged. Like, when the bill comes at a restaurant where I'm like, this food wasn't very good. And, like, the people I'm with are like, yeah, it really wasn't that good. And the bill comes and it's, like near 100 or north, depending on how many people are there. I'm just like...
I am untethered and my rage knows no bounds!
Unacceptable food. Unacceptable. Case in point, Applebee's. You go to Applebee's with 3 people, and it's like $89 for like $15 worth of fucking
Applebee's
garbage.
is too expensive.
It's so bad.
The 2 for $20 used to be a hot deal, and now it's like not.
No, it's bad.
They lowered portions and raised prices. You can't do both. That's ridiculous.
It's absolutely unacceptable. In this climate, I can't believe
Who has the time?
Who? It was like, I had to pee really bad on the way to my in-laws for Thanksgiving. And, I was like, you have to stop literally anywhere that will allow us to pee for free. And she pulled into a McDonald's, and I... You want to talk about God of War, or you want to keep talking about gross fast food?
I mean, if I talk about God of War, I'm just going to make people mad.
We talk about trophies and make people very mad. I mean, okay, so here's the thing. We want to make our video not be the same as every other video, which we've already failed because we're making a God of War Ragnarok video. However, if we say all the things we didn't like, that's like, stoking the fires, man.
So we're not talking about good stuff, just exclusively bad stuff?
We can talk about good stuff.
Okay. I guess the place to start is going into the game before you played it. Like, what were you looking for? What did you expect?
I mean, I expected... I hadn't played the first game in, like, I haven't played since 2019. It came out in 2018. I haven't played since 2019. So it's one of those things where, like, I remembered hitting stuff with an axe, blades of chaos, boy shooting arrows. I remembered the combat and, like, a lot of the way it flowed. And I was kind of like, I can't wait to get back into this. And now it's like wintertime and go around collecting stuff and doing side quests. And they railroad you for like 8 hours.
Like, I was going into it thinking that I remembered not liking the combat in 2018, but the story and the characters were so good that it like overshadowed that. And so like going into it, I was like, okay, even if they improve the combat, I don't think I like the core of this combat system.
Okay.
So... like, everyone's saying the story is amazing, so that's what's going to do it for me. And so I came in, and, like, boy, does this game start off with, like, a banging first hour.
Boy.
Like, boy.
Teen.
Like, in that first hour between Freya attacking you on the sled, to Odin and Thor showing up, to the fight with Thor, all that's fucking crazy. Like, what a start. Are we doing massive spoilers? We're doing everything, right?
Listen. Spoilers. Wait, no, left to right. Spoilers, you dumb fuck. There you go, now you can go.
Non-stop spoilers for everything.
No, I wouldn't say for everything. How long's it been? Like 2-3 weeks?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go like the ending of the. Oh, there is a thing at the end of the game I want to be really mad about. There's a couple things where I was just sitting here like, where did you go with this? All right, so go back to the thing. So you were so early plot's good.
I would say the first hour is good.
I'd say the first 3 hours are good.
Okay. See, because we have like a pretty strong setup and a pretty strong start.
Yep.
And then Atreus is like, let's go look for Tyr, which I don't have a problem with. Like that makes sense for his character. What did bug me was how easy it was to find Tyr.
You are going so minutia heavy so quickly.
Oh, see, all of my problem is with the minutia.
I did not expect this. I thought
if you back up and you go like broad strokes, the game's fine.
It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. I wouldn't. There's nobody I wouldn't recommend it to. Pretty much.
Yeah, it's
there's
palatable.
people whose
it's like about the
kneecaps
same as 2018.
Yeah. Okay, so I was thinking about that because everybody I talked to, everybody who's played the game has gotten past the opening cutscene, aka the first hour. That's really good, and they were like, the opening is really good. And I was thinking back to 2018, and I was like, everybody wouldn't shut the fuck up about that either. Baldur shows up, and it's like, whoa, this guy can just.
It's a very similar opening.
It's the same fucking bait and switch. We got a really cool beginning. Oh, it kind of sucks for a bit. Oh, maybe there's a cool thing gonna come soon. Oh, and it's like they drag that out again.
I thought because it was so similar, that was deliberate and intentional. And I thought I like paid really close attention to the dialogue there because I was thinking, is there a twist here? Like the twist in the first game is Baldur's not looking for Kratos.
Right,
and like all of his dialogue is way more interesting after you've beaten the game.
He's talking past you to Atreus. Yeah, he's not talking.
Yeah, he's really looking for your wife, who is.
Oh, your wife. Sorry, yeah.
And so I was like waiting for those types of twists, and so I was reading into a lot of stuff you're not supposed to read into, and going like, okay, like I could see a few different ways this could play out, and like none of that mattered.
No,
but
I mean
it reminds me of. You know the first scene in Inglourious Bastards where the Nazis at the house, like, it really feels like that. Like, the tension is really strong in that scene.
Yeah, I wanted... If that scene had gone longer, I would have definitely compared it to a Tarantino-style gun under the table or bomb under the table scene. It certainly wasn't long enough, but yeah, the stakes felt like they could have exploded at any moment. They do, you know... And it's very classic manipulation style where you think this is what's happening, but really that's happening because something else is trying to happen. I don't know why I'm trying to avoid spoilers. The whole reason the entire beginning happens is because Odin wants a one-on-one with your son. Thor being there to do the blood debt thing is two birds, one stone. He doesn't give a flying shit about that. He just wants to talk to this kid and convince him to come help him with this thing. Can we... I have a list of things we're supposed to talk about in order before I jump right into it. The mask thing! What the... Was that not going to be a rug pull where they were going to go, surprise, it was made up? It wasn't made up.
Yeah, it wasn't made up. It was real.
What the fuck
Odin wanted answers. I find that so interesting. Like, Odin finding this tear in reality that he thinks will answer all of his questions.
And it's in his basement?
Well, no, because he built his house around it.
And he never had a way to find the mask pieces until, like, this exact second?
Yeah, that's kind of weird. Like, there's a lot of, like... It's weird, because, like, I love specific scenes and specific moments in this game, but it feels like they storyboarded and were like, this is the scene we want. How do we get there? I don't care. Like,
yeah.
A lot of it feels kind of convoluted on how these scenes came together.
I think the perfect, like, demonstration of the way this game plays out is Heimdall.
Okay.
So Heimdall, so it also it parallels another very juicy gaming debate, which is kill all the bad guys up to the big bad guy. No, must spare the big bad guy. Now you're a good person, even though you killed everybody. Remember that wonderful debate? The Final People Part 2. You know that Last of Us. So when you meet Heimdall and he's a big old gigaprick, and I was like, man, I really want to kill this guy. And Kratos is like, the prophecy says I'm going to kill this guy, but we don't want to do what the prophecy says. Not even getting into how stupid prophecy is in this fucking game. And then I'm like, but I want to kill
this
that
whole
guy.
episode could be about prophecy, because I can talk for
We're
hours.
We're prophesized to talk about prophecy. I don't know if you know this. Just on the back of my door is a picture of us talking about prophecy. But it's like, okay, I hate this guy. I want to kill this guy. It's prophesized we kill this guy. Kratos goes, no, I don't want to kill that guy. I'm like, the one time, dude. The one time that we wanted to kill a guy, and you were like, no. So it's obviously written like that on purpose. And then it leads to the fact that, oh, how are you going to kill him? He, like, reads your mind and dodges everything super quick. And then your plan is go get a spear. How is
he
he
spear
not
that explodes. So after he catches it, it'll still explode.
Yeah, okay, whatever. Well, like, halfway through that fight, he just stops being able to dodge everything.
Right, and you can hit him with any weapon.
For no reason. I kept throwing spears, and at one point I switched to the axe, just like on instinct, and then he got hit by it, and I was like, why could you get hit by that now? This doesn't make any sense with all the previous writing of how this works. That's how everything in that game is. It sets up, you think it's going to do this, and then suddenly they go, yeah, we don't care about that anymore, just beat the shit out of this guy, it's fine. Doesn't matter. The rules are gone.
Yeah, I mean, this may get petty, but, like, the way the game handles prophecy did bother me. It's like, if you're dealing with a story with prophecy and predestination and all that crap, you have, like, a few different ways you can handle it, right? Either, like, the prophecy has to happen, period. That's how destiny works in this universe. In which case, usually they do some sort of like weird twist on it where you accidentally cause it to happen. And the game, Mimir talks about that all the time in this game, where he's like, try to avoid it. It's just going to make it happen and all this type of stuff.
And you can see that happening a lot of the times. You can see how that's going to happen.
Yeah. Or you can go the other way. You can be like, Destiny's bullshit and you can do whatever you want. But this game like weaves this weird halfway point where it's like, we're doing whatever we want, but also it just happens to
be
coincide
exactly
with
what's
the
on
prophecy
the fucking wall. Yeah.
Until the very end, where we just pivot hard and we say it's okay.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's just a weird take. Like, I don't... And, like, the game reinforces that throughout the story, right? Like, Kratos is told that, like, destiny isn't destiny. It's just, like, you're predictable.
Right.
And Mimir repeatedly is like...
I half like that. I was okay with that for a bit, because it's like, emotions were high, so they were easy to predict. But, like, are we talking Heimdall actual literal read your brain predictions, or, like, you're wearing it on I don't know.
It's just weird, because, like, I would have liked a few more instances before the very end of us being like, yeah, we can break prophecy.
A little bit, like in little places.
Yeah, just in little ways.
Yeah.
And like, they weren't there, so, like, the end kind of comes out of nowhere. But, yeah, it's weird because it's a story... I feel like it's a story about identity, right? Because Kratos is still kind of dealing a little bit with what he was dealing with the last game, which is like, are you a god of war, or can you be somebody else? And Atreus has his dual identities between Atreus and Loki.
Yeah.
And even like Thor is like, is he Odin's son, or is he like a father and a husband? And like Freya is dealing with the same stuff. Like it's really like everyone has these dual things that they're having to choose between, but like it kind of just like all works out, and you could be both or neither, or just pick the good one and there's no consequences. Like, I was expecting this to be a bloodbath, and like nobody died.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising how few people get fucking have almost anything happen to them at all. I guess I don't know enough about Norse mythology, but this game makes it look like there's like fucking 4 people. It's like Heimdall, Odin, Thor, and then Thor's family. That's it. Nobody else.
And I like all of the characters.
Yeah.
Like, I like Thrud, and I
like Thor a lot, honestly.
And I like Thor a lot.
Yeah.
It's just like the overarching story with all of them together is tough.
It's one of those things where it's like, when there's stakes for like, who are you fighting for? It's like, we have to save the 9 realms. I'm like, well, half of them are pricks who keep trying to kill us every time we see them. So I don't know why I want to save them. And it's like, okay, Thor's fighting for what? Odin? Well, who's he trying to save? A bunch of all these undead pricks? Is anybody fucking here? This game feels exactly like all of those games. They do the thing where they're like, token one character that Atreus talks to, where you're like, oh, maybe there are humans. There's like 5 fucking people behind a woodshed. That's it. There's nobody in this game. Nobody here.
Yeah, and like part of the problem is 2018 is such a simple story.
Yeah.
Like 2018 is like Lord of the Rings level. We need to go to this place.
Do whatever it takes to get to that place. Yeah.
And everything in between is the adventure.
Yeah.
This story in Ragnarok, every character wants something completely different and has their own desires and has their own motivation.
Yeah.
And like the way that they conflict with each other isn't always like super obvious, which could be interesting, but I feel like it never is, right? Like
There's certainly a lot of times where I think things are going to have bigger consequences and then they don't, and then things that had minor consequences have big consequences.
yeah.
Like, for case in point, like you were saying, people have their own kind of like, I want to do this, I want to do this. When Freya and Kratos go off having their fucking parental soul bonding adventure, which is literally all that is. I'm not going to describe it as anything else, as them just like fucking with their emotions and minds and then getting over themselves. It's like, oh, we discover that Freya's curse is locked behind the roots of the fucking Yggdrasil, which summons the thing that is literally a balancing force in the universe, and then you kill it, and then it's like, oh, just find its kids, it's fine. I was like, that was all it took?
It hasn't been that long. Like, the idea is that it would grow too far to overtake everything.
It sounds like the kind of thing that would happen in God of War previous, and it would end the world. Which it does in the previous games. It's like, well, you killed the guy who controls the sea, so now there's fucking constant tsunamis and everybody's fucking dying. And it's like, in this version of the universe, they'd be like, yeah, but he's got like a kid who's like, you know, he's good in a bathtub, so he'll probably be fine in like 10 years. It's whatever.
Yeah,
I mean,
but my issues with that mission in particular...
That's petty, though. That's a tiny little nitpick. That's nothing.
This is more tiny nitpicks, though.
Yeah.
My issue with that mission is like, all it took was a conversation, and now Freya's cool. Like, that's it. Like, it's been 3 years. Why have you never had this conversation?
Of trying to kill them constantly?
To be fair... Odin and Thor make sense. The millisecond the, like, shield is down around their home base, Odin and Thor are there. And they're like, we're talking.
Yeah.
But, like, Freya's been interacting with them and trying to kill them nonstop.
When she knows they live in a house.
And we never had this conversation?
No, I don't know. Oh, there's the totems. I forgot. There's the totems that, like, somebody turning into a bear knocks a totem over and then it lets the weird leaf people in. I thought that was them. Everybody just dissolves into leaves when you kill them. That's a weird animation. That's a small thing for my sake. Are you good on plot? I think I got like one more thing about plot I want to talk about.
I mean, I could rant on plot for like the whole first half of the game lost me hard. Like I was in it for the first hour, and then I was just losing it with every progressive step. And it wasn't until Atreus went to Asgard that I was back on board.
That was a cool part, yeah.
And then from like there to the end, I was like, yeah, let's see what happens next. And then it just, I don't know.
So we like characters in this.
Yeah, I think I like almost every character in this game.
I have 2 things to close this out, and then we can go into combat and then talk trophies. I love a time travel. I love a predestination. I love
oh my god, are you talking about Jormungandr right now?
I'm gonna talk about that whole part.
That made me so mad.
So there's a whole thing in Norse mythology where Jormungandr is sent back in time by Thor accidentally. And they show that, but they also heavily imply that Jormungandr is the snake that Atreus puts a soul into in Jotunheim.
Yeah.
Because it was a soul of a gigagiant, the snake turns into a gigasnake.
Yeah, I think that's almost explicitly said. I wouldn't say it's implied.
So,
I'd say that was the intention, and they heavily showed that.
So what happens is he puts this knife in the snake. The snake gets really big when nobody's paying attention. It shows up at Asgard because it doesn't have the neck tendrils. Thor hits it back in time at its current age, and then it becomes Jormungandr of current in the past and becomes, even bigger.
Yeah.
Okay. Could we have seen a little more of that?
See, what's so weird is, like, it's almost off screen. Like, it's, like, way in the background.
Yeah.
And then Thor does it, and then we don't really even talk about it.
No.
Although, it did come up in the post-game a little bit, where Thor was like, not Thor, where Kratos was like, hey, it was kind of weird that, like, Giant Snake Bro didn't look the same, and Mimir was like, I bet Atreus learned how to graft a soul
What the
into
fuck
a
was
snake.
that?
And I was like, what?
Yeah. Can we talk about the fact that if Mimir knew that, it means he knows that putting giant souls into animals mean they'll learn to talk, which means they're basically people again, and they just don't do that? They'll probably make a sequel or a side quest where you play as Atreus and figure out how to put giant souls into a bunch of weird animals, but like, did you think you were going to do that once we put the knife in the snake and made Snake Knife and also did that with Fenrir? That maybe we would put giant souls into a bunch of animals and have attack?
I thought because we had the prophecy of the champion leading a bunch of giants, that there were going to be a ton of giant souls in a ton of stuff, which is interesting because, like, why do the marbles even exist, right?
Right.
We take one marble and it becomes Jormungandr, and then we do nothing with any of the other marbles. Fenrir is the wolf from the start of the game.
Which is essentially a soul in a marble, it's just a soul in a knife instead of in a marble.
They almost
Same
didn't
idea.
need to have them.
No.
Because, like, the only reason they exist is so at the end of the game, Atreus has to leave.
He has a thing to do.
Right. So, like...
It's a bad fucking idea, where the giants were like, we have to hide from Odin by essentially physically killing ourselves and becoming rocks that only one person can take care of. Okay, so there's still one of you that he can find, and if he does, you're all fucked because you're all marbles now. Did you think this through?
It was also kind of weird, because, like, Thor is, like, the giant killer, right? Like, there's a few lines where it's like, Thor explicitly killed the giants.
Yeah.
But if they removed their souls, what'd he do? Did he kill a bunch while they were, like, holding him off to take the soul?
We were going to talk about something else. And we talked about this instead. You're getting me on this now.
That's what
Do you remember? Do you remember that?
The scenes, the direction, the acting is all great.
It's great!
It's great! If you poke at it, I feel like it crumbles.
Dude, are you ready to get lit up in the comments? The lore, Peter. The lore. As a lore channel, you should know better.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so, was I high? Or did they say when we showed up in Jotunheim in the Ironwoods, and he was like, I feel like I've been here before, and there was a giant field of fucking giant corpses. And she was straight up like, yeah, those were all fakes to trick Odin. I was like, you can make a giant field of giant corpses?
Well, my assumption was those are real corpses.
Those are the
giants' real corpses that they took their souls out of to put into the marbles.
I thought she said those were fake.
I think she said fake too, but I thought that's what she meant by, like...
They're not dead.
They're dead.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's stupid as fuck. Also, Ironwoods
I think it's a cool idea.
Ironwoods, they're like, oh yeah, it's hidden. You can't find it. It's just in normal Jotunheim. It's not even hidden. It's just fucking the woods. You know what I mean?
Well, they destroyed the gate.
That's the only way it's hidden insofar as you can't get back to Jotunheim. It's just as hidden as the fucking Hand Mountain. You just can't get there. It wasn't hidden. They're like, Mimir's like, it's a mythical place, you can't get there. Bro, you have the eyes to see, and you didn't think Ironwoods was real, and it's like 10 feet to the left. Like, when you're on the mountain and you're looking at the hand thing.
It's right there.
In the first
Mimir,
game,
it's right there. You can see it.
If Mimir was like, oh, there it is. It's right there.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, this isn't very hidden, my dude. For a game that hides stuff in crazy, wacky places, it was just like, it was like right there. I thought they were going to do like a giants can also shrink thing, and it wasn't that the chainmail in the forest was gigantic. It was that was normal size and you were super tiny and that's how it was hidden.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I know! I thought that'd be a cool twist! It wasn't though, fuck you.
No, instead we did this weird thing where like some giants are normal sized.
And you ride on the back of a weird water buffalo for 400 years. And then a crazy old lady serial murderer gets away? And no one does anything about it. Is this
we weren't fighting her. We didn't want to kill her.
I know it's supposed to be the whole give people like chances and forgiveness and shit.
See, I don't have beef with that in this game.
She had so many cages.
I don't have beef with that in this game because the entire game, Kratos is preaching like we don't have to go to war. We don't have to fight.
You gotta kill that bitch.
But I'm saying it's different. It's different from other games that preach like don't combat, don't kill people.
I know. It's because everybody
you do
fights
kill
like
a lot
weird...
of people in this game, though.
You kill weird corpses. They're not people.
Whoa.
Okay, let me go to the actual... Speaking of killing people, let me go to the actual thing I was going to say after Jormungandr. Sindri?
I have beef with Sindri. See, okay.
No, stop. There's only one thing, without sounding like an emotionless husk, that you can objectively say was stupid. Everything else you could be like, he's grieving, whatever the fuck, right?
Yeah.
Showing up and being like, no more dwarves.
Yeah, okay, that's what I was going to say.
The dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen. I was like, you lost me.
I get it.
You lost me.
Like, I think it's dumb that he blames Atreus, but, like, it makes sense, and like you said, you can excuse it with the grief. Yeah. It's fine. But, like, no more dwarves die for this war is so stupid, because if we lose, they're all enslaved.
Or enslaved.
You idiot.
Yeah, it's dumb.
Like, it's just irrationally wrong.
And if the prediction is wrong, Ragnarok does destroy all the realms, you're all dying anyway.
Yeah.
I
mean, we got beef with the dwarves. I got beef with the elves, who have been fighting forever, and just, like, in a minute, they're united because they love Freya's brother.
They love Freyr. He has a name.
Whatever.
We got to go to combat, but you mentioned Freyr. You do side quests for all of his fucking band of Avengers. You get to know them. You can listen to their dialogue.
His guerrilla crew. I really like his ragtag guerrilla crew.
I liked it a lot, and I liked how they were all kind of in some form an enemy you fought. Usually, it's a light elf, a dark elf. There's
I didn't even notice that.
It's the big stranger, the guys who follow the path for Odin with the big sword.
Yeah,
and then you don't fight dwarves, but there's a dwarf.
What about his weird dog pig thing?
You mean the thing that you stab in the first game, and it turns out those are humans that are in boar form?
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. We're taking that one cutscene as something you fight.
The cool guy with the big sword, I think he has one optional conversation, and then you never do a quest for him, and you never talk to him, and then they try to fucking pull his sacrifice. I was like, get the fuck out of here with that. If it was
you mean in the post game?
No, when you're on the boat in the sky and he jumps at the dragon.
Yeah.
If you picked anybody else, I would have been like, single tier, right? You don't do fucking anything with that guy.
Oh, you're saying you have no emotional connection.
There's no of all the people there which you have a light emotional connection to, because I know a lot of people like you played Red Dead 2 and you didn't give a fuck about anybody in the camp.
Yeah, not even a little bit.
They put fucking 15 hours of shit of those people talking that you can listen to. So near the end of Red Dead 2, spoilers for Red Dead 2, spoilers, you big dumb cunt. Like that ending where people start to get shot and shit goes down because spoilers are not in Red Dead 1, so somebody's gonna have to die. Like, you kind of feel that. Like, when the old caretaker lady gets shot, I was like, man, what the fuck? I like that lady. But in fucking God of War 2, they're like, remember that one guy who never said anything and you never talked to? Feel bad. I was like, dude, no.
See,
like,
I thought you meant they were pulling their punch, because in the post-game, he's alive.
Yeah, and you go save him for a quest. But, like, if you had a quest where you... Like, you know how this game, you just keep getting people as companions, which was awesome, by the way. That was so cool. They do the thing where they give you a skill tree, and you're like, oh, is this a temporary companion? Oh, is this a permanent companion? Oh, we switched it, and then Freya's the permanent companion, and Atreus isn't. I was like, oh, switcheroo. And then the all skills fucking thing didn't pop, and I was like, did I have to get skills for Atreus that I didn't get? But I don't think that was a trophy. I just assumed it would be, because I didn't look at the trophy list for the longest time.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Which I'll talk about later. I just thought it would be, and I was like, oh, fuck. How did I fuck this? There's no way this is missable. But, no quest with that guy. The emotional payoff was there. There's the couple. You have the fucking Dark Elf, who has wings, go to attack the dragons, and, like, she fucking, like, stabs the first one in the eye, and the second one comes and, like, bites one of her wings off or something, and they tumble, and the fucking light elf husband's like, no, we have to go back, and they hold him. I'm writing this for you, Santa Monica. And then, in post-game, he's like, we have to go find her, and he comes along with you, and you find her, and she's, like, fighting off dudes with, like, half her wings, and you nurse her back to health, bring her back to camp.
That'd be cool.
Cool as fuck.
That'd be cool.
Way better than the garbage they wrote for this.
But the other guy has a big sword. He's a cool guy.
Yeah, and you know what? He jumps off a weird paper boat in the sky and somehow kills both dragons. And then
I don't know how he pulled that off.
Plummets 7,000 feet. and lives long enough that I did like 6 side quests before going to save his ass, and he was still bleeding out. And we were able to save him
until very end of the post game. He was definitely dehydrated.
When he jumps off the thing, I literally threw my hands up. I think it was our roommate's brother was over, and he looks at me and he goes, "Doesn't that one chick have wings?" I was like, "She has wings! Like, you're not... Why didn't she go do that? Why did the one guy who couldn't do anything about it?" Like, oh man, as soon as that scene happened, I was like, you could have had some awesome emotional stuff going on, where, you know, that couple split up and he's completely distraught. Or the other way around, the guy without wings jumps out like an idiot and she's like, "I had wings, why did you do that?" And, you know, whatever. I thought it'd be cool. And then there would be another emotional moment because he doesn't have wings. And she'd be like, "Well, I only have half wings." And he's like, "Speak for yourself. I don't have any wings." Boom, 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 boom. Like, writes itself, dude.
But none of that actually
happened.
That wasn't in the game.
I mean, I'm saying this. I couldn't write that until after I saw what they did with the Weird Traveler guy, and I was like, you could do way better than this. Come on, man. If you're trying to tear jerk me a little bit, like, at least go for the full. So that's it. That's what I got. I want to talk about the Weird Traveler guy, whatever he's called, with the big sword, not being an emotional payoff, and Sindri being an absolute punk bitch.
Are you upset or annoyed in any way that you didn't get to wield Mjolnir?
No. I'm fine with that.
Okay, yeah, it didn't bug me at all.
Did people complain about that online?
I've seen that comment a few times. They're like, "How did we not get to use it?"
You got a fucking spear. That's way better. It's fine.
Yeah, it's the coolest spear ever.
Speaking of
Infinite
spears, combat.
I have nothing positive to say about the combat in God of War. I feel like this is inconsistent, and maybe I'm bad at it, and maybe that's the reason. But like, I feel like sometimes your special move will cancel what the enemy is doing, and sometimes it won't.
Yep.
And like, maybe it depends on the move, and maybe it depends on like where they are in the animation. But it felt inconsistent, and it feels bad.
I like the part where there's absolutely no way to tell when a special move will interrupt what level of a boss it is. So, everybody's favorite build up the ice attack on the axe move, where, I mean...
Good move.
Where you hold the axe up and it does a big tornado of ice, and you just watch that triangle thing fill up so you can just start whacking them again. Do extra damage. That move stuns the Berserkers, doesn't stun the Valkyrie Queen. I don't know why. It stuns the King of the Berserkers, doesn't stun the Valkyrie. Fucking stuns Odin, doesn't stun the Valkyrie Queen. No idea why.
Well, Odin's an old guy.
Doesn't fucking act like
And the Valkyrie Queen has wings.
I think the only thing I can say that doesn't sound particularly pretentious, that was a nitpick. I'll say that was a nitpick. It's just, it was trial. I remember the first time I fought the Valkyrie Queen, I threw that out at one point. One of my go-tos is, let's throw down that ability after getting a good stun on one of the Berserker-style mini-bosses, build up the ice meter, hit them with the ice meter, which does the slowdown time to get a bunch of free hits in. And that usually kind of resets me. I get a good position. It's a lot of free hits, so there's a luck chance health will drop. It's a whole thing. And I threw that out, and she was like, "Nah," and just fucking went up and diced me like a goddamn onion. And I was like, okay.
Even before endgame bosses, I felt like everyone was a little too spongy for me. Like, I feel like they have a lot of health, and I feel like they don't really react to when you hit them.
They don't react to getting absolutely minced, but they do react to things that would not interrupt them in any other capacity.
Yeah, like, multiple times, I played on whatever normal is.
Give me balance.
Yeah, I played on Give Me Balance.
Yeah.
Multiple times I thought about lowering the difficulty, not because it was hard, but because I was like,
no one is
reacting to hit it. Like, I can dodge and parry everybody, but like, it's taking forever.
It takes too long. Did you beat anybody while they were a purple health bar?
Yes.
Okay, so did I, and it was like an absolute fucking...
I never did it again after the first time.
There's one in Alfheim, it's the gravel belly, it's the big old Giga Boar thing. I beat that when it was purple, and I beat one of the Berserker fights when it was purple.
Yeah, I only did a Berserker fight.
I googled what the health bar meant, and it meant this person is like 2 levels above you. But like we talked about in DMs, like the level meter doesn't really fucking mean anything. Unless magically when your number goes up, it just shifts stats behind the scenes. Because otherwise it's like...
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, my aggregate means I'm level 8, but all I really did was just upgrade the Blades of Chaos to do +5 rune. I don't do more damage, have more health, or have more defense.
It's a weird like level up and gear system for me, because normally the gear systems that I don't engage with are the ones that are like, here's a billion items, and I'm like, none of these mean anything. This one was like almost the opposite, where there were so few meaningful choices that I almost was like, why do we have any choice?
Yeah.
F this. Like, just give me everything and let me pick which move I have.
It was very strange. It was very strange because it was like, this weapon piece has this ability that's really bad, but stats that are really good. And then one with a really good ability would have atrocious stats.
Yeah.
Like, one of them was like, when you
It feels tacked on. That's what I want to say. Is like, there's 4 menus of gear, and there's like 6 choices for any slot. Like,
at the same time, I feel like there's more choices than there needs to be just for the sake of variety. I never used half of them. I looked at and went garbage and just like never looked at it. Like the one for like, you do double damage when you do the triangle immolation move or something. I'm trying to think of some generic thing like that's pretty good. And then like the stats that thing adds is like +30 luck. Ew. Like, okay, I mean, I guess, but you know, I'm kind of getting killed a lot. I need vitality. What has vitality? Oh, one with a garbage ability. The only one that somehow met the middle is the one for the ice axe, which was the one where you slow time. You do a realm shift when you fucking activate ice. And I was like, yep, that one for the rest of the game.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't want to harp on the combat too much because I didn't like 2018's combat, so I knew I wasn't gonna like love
Camera's
this.
too close. Camera's too close. Camera's too close. Camera's too close.
I don't have a problem with the camera. I have a problem with the like, you're being attacked from this direction compass meter thing. I feel like it lies. I feel like sometimes it's not that direction.
Well, it's more like you get it. It says there's somebody attacking you from this direction. It's like, okay, well, I'm also being attacked from the front. If I roll away, half the time, that indicator means sometime in the next 6 seconds somebody from over here is going to attack you. So you roll, and then they just, you know, turn to where you are now. So do you want me to just roll around on the ground for 30 seconds until they stop?
Yeah, it's weird, right? Because, like, it's yellow when someone intends to attack you, and it's red when they're attacking you.
And it's
but if it's a projectile, it's red the whole time the projectile's in the air. So if they're next to you, it's red. And if they're across the map, it's still red. And you have no idea when it's going to hit.
So, like, you get lucky, you parry the guy in front of you, you turn off auto-lock, you turn, and you see it's one of those poison-spitting frog people, and you see they're doing the... And then they spit, and you're like, I did all of this to see him spit, and then you roll out of the way and turn around back to the other guy, and it's like, is that what you really wanted me to do? Like, it feels like the kind of thing a fucking Diablo-style game would have, where you can see everything. Or a game with like a fucking...
Yeah, it does feel like that, where you would have a wider view of the whole arena. Yeah.
Just half the time, and it comes down to the Berserker fights, where either the Berserkers have to do nothing for no reason, or because they can't both be attacking you from behind the camera, which they do, but only like once every 6 or 7 attacks. The second one will jump in and do a complete...
You're talking about the multiple Berserker fight?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
There's 3 multiple Berserker fights. There's the one where it's 2, there's the one where he summons a bunch of fucking poop bags, and there's the one that's 3. And it's like, I've read strategies for all the different ways. Like, oh, if it's the 3 one, you should focus down the sisters and then take the big guy. I was like, you're a fucking lunatic. They only shoot at you once every like 30 seconds, which is not that bad. But that guy is trying to hit you the whole time. He never stops. You have to focus him down. You can't, because if you try to attack them first, like, again, you're trying to attack the one guy, and every so often, if you're listening, which I was playing it in my living room, I had to come upstairs and put on headphones. Because they'll say some dumb shit about, like, when they shoot fire at you, or whatever, or when they're going to go the super slow projectile, which you have to try to unlock from the one guy to throw a thing at it, but you can't because auto-aim keeps trying to make you throw at the guy in front of you, and you're like, try to throw the spear!
That threw me off more than once.
It was so bad! So they say specific things when they do that, so you know what to expect from the stupid fucking blinking red light that says there's, you know, a car coming on your left. And it's like, just move the fucking camera back and none of this would be a problem. Just move the camera back a little bit. Instead, it's like Resident Evil 4 Leon camera, where it's like right the fuck over his shoulder, and it's like, I care about so much that's over there, dude. Please just zoom out a little bit.
Yeah, like, I don't hate it. I just don't love it.
No. When it flows, it's nice. To like kill 99 enemies in a row in Muspelheim, I kind of got a kick out of that for a bit. There's a point
even that felt too long. That was just like too much at once.
Well, when you get into a flow of things in a lot of those fights, like every time I beat a berserker when I was probably way too under level, like I beat one of them that was the one that I beat that was purple when I was like, level 5 and they were level 7 or 8 or some bullshit. It was like you said, it's like a 15-minute fucking fight. But again, we're supposed to know not to do that. You get in a rhythm where you don't miss a fucking single parry.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel like it
true.
pays off at all!
There was never a fight in this one where it really felt like God of War 2018, where the Valkyries... I'm still convinced that there are multiple moves that the Valkyries have that like are the same frame by frame until they decide to continue the combo.
They just do a different thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
They did... Not even getting into the Valkyries thing, because like I think as I've said to you and multiple people, they're the same enemy. Reskinned.
What are the same enemy?
The Berserkers are the Valkyries. They have the same moves. They have
not the same moves.
There's only like 2 moves that they don't have that the Valkyries had. They don't have the blinding flash thing, and they don't have the one where they spin really fast and suck you in with the blades, with the wing blades. Those are the 2 moves they don't do. Everything else
sucks.
That move does suck. There's only like 2 moves. They do every other move that the Valkyries do. They just look weirder because instead of having the big wing stab, they're like
I like when they hover in the air, and I'm like, how you doing that?
How you doing that?
How you doing that?
Somebody said to me, well, they're a ghost. And I went, okay, so like...
They are ghosts.
That's dumb.
Ghosts do fly.
Oh, man. Those fights are so fucking dumb. But yeah, like I was saying, like it doesn't feel good when you're like parry, 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 bash, hit, 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 parry, 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 bash, hit, hit, hit. You do that for 5 minutes, and it's like... Doop. And you're like, ugh. Fuck. There should be way more payoff to landing that many parries in a row. Or anything like that,
Yeah, but there's nothing. Not even... Most shields
that sounds
can't
like
even
bitching.
parry.
That doesn't even sound like a thing we can objectively say is dumb. It just sounds like we're bitching. Because like, it's so...
I mean, most of my problems with the game are nitpicking and bitching. I'll freely admit that.
Yeah. I think the camera not being far enough back and the way the combat is kind of more than a nitpick. I think it's a genuine criticism I have for the game. And that really poorly... You could have handled that one plot situation better. I think that could have been better written.
Just fix it. Just fix it.
What the fuck do I know?
Fix it in post.
Sitting over here with my non-writing degree.
Exactly. Again, I don't want to say the writing is bad, because I think the scene writing is good. It's like
I just
the
think
overall.
I'm better.
I just think it's bad.
I think I could have written that scene better. What are you talking about? Is there anything else about the combat that's kind of dumb? The fact that your companion, who's the literal queen of the Valkyries, and is like a giga badass who's been
yeah. There are sometimes where it's like, okay, when you were fighting me, you were doing like all these root moves and shit.
And now you're doing fucking nothing!
How about you do that some more?
She does no damage to anybody she fights if you're not involved. It's pathetic. I get they want you to be the guy killing the stuff, but like, holy shit, do something, damn.
I know you're stronger than this. I've seen it.
You walk around in Helheim with bare feet, ma'am. Like, you want to talk trophies, or do you want to circle back and talk about how it's fucking stupid that Odin was Tyr the whole time and that doesn't make any sense?
See, like, I didn't hate that because I hated how easy it was to find Tyr.
Yeah, but
so,
it doesn't
like,
make sense that he was so easily swapping in and out in a broom closet. Nobody never went in there when he wasn't around.
Yeah.
To be like, where did Tyr go?
Don't worry
Come
about
on.
it.
That's nitpicking.
It's fine.
It's supposed to be a cool reveal that you wouldn't have been able to see coming, but like it feels it's not a thing you could see coming because it doesn't really make any sense.
Yeah, I think the feeling they wanted was like, oh my god, and the feeling I had was like, oh, thank God.
Like that makes his character make so much more sense. He's not an idiot. He was evil and trying to hold everybody back, right?
Yeah, it's like this makes way more sense now.
But at the same time, if he was Tyr, he would know from all the talking with Kratos that Kratos doesn't want to do all of these bad things.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I feel like I have to play it again because PlayStation's gonna release a New Game Plus trophy DLC update, right?
They didn't for 2018.
I fucking hope they don't. The fucking story's so long.
It's long. It's
but
a
at
very
least
long game.
at least all the boss fights are super easy railroads where you like literally can't die. Did you ever die in a normal boss fight or any normal story encounter? Not even close. The second you go off the rails to go do a side quest, everything's like, oh, and it just beats the shit out of you. But a normal story area, they're like, dink.
Yeah, one-on-one, whoever I was fighting didn't stand a chance. It was when there was more than one enemy that it was like, okay, I guess I die.
I think the only person that came close was Heimdall, just because Bifrost is like, I don't know, one of the worst mechanics I've ever heard in a fucking...
What was your favorite line in the game?
Kratos! You're on fire, Kratos! Don't worry, it'll pass! I heard that, I don't know.
My favorite line
times?
was when Odin's like, "Oh, that you, Loki? You little trickster?
Yeah, you're a softie.
You little trickster?
You're a softie for that kind of shit.
You gonna betray me?" I thought the inflection was so good.
I mean, listening to Richard Schiff, I hope he's a fan of the show. He's not. We love you in the West.
We know you're watching, Richard Schiff. None of my complaints about this game include you. You're amazing.
You are amazing. Everything he's in was...
Actually, all of the voice actors were amazing in this game. Everyone.
Fucking... Oh my god, I feel bad because I just had to look this up because I said this before. Fucking Karen Page from Daredevil showing up as wife.
See, I know her as Jessica from True Blood more than Daredevil.
Yeah, see, but we should actually know the woman's name because it feels mean that we knew Richard Schiff.
It does feel kind of bad that we knew Richard Schiff, but not her name.
Well, I know Christopher Judge from like 10 seasons of Stargate SG-1, like, you know.
Yeah.
And I went through probably half the game thinking Thor was a mix of Josh Brolin and fucking Ron Perlman.
I don't know Thor's voice actor.
It's because it's from a not, you know. I'm not saying he's not famous, but it's from someone I didn't recognize when the credits roll. I was like, I don't know who that is. But apparently I don't know who Karen Page is either. Fuck. I feel bad now.
It's Karen Page.
Karen Page. She shoots that guy in season 1 so good. I love that scene. Spoilers, you dumb cunt. Was I saying the tier thing was dumb? We talked about combat.
You're asking about trophies? I don't have anything interesting to say about the trophies.
Yeah, I got 99% of them without having to look them up. The only ones I didn't have were, like, forge all of the equipment that you have to go to, like, a post-game area to find one of them, which doesn't show up on your completion list. I don't know what you didn't need to do, but I 100%ed every area, and I think I didn't need to do that.
I think you need to 100% most of the game.
Well, because 100% post-Ragnarok mission pops up, and I don't think a trophy pops for it. Am I stupid?
No, there's no trophy for 100%ing everything. There's trophies for pieces of the 100%, but there's no trophy for get everything.
Did you know there's secret bosses?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You fought them.
No, I didn't.
What are you talking about?
One of the relics you get, I found this out after I finished the game and was Googling stuff, like what did I miss? Kind of like Dark Souls, what did I miss? One of the relics you get, which I tried to use, just like goes like a ting and like nothing happens. There's specific places in the world if you do that, a boss wakes up and you fight it.
Huh.
How cool is that? I didn't know that. Remember when you go to that one beach in Svartalfheim, which hilarious name. There's a dragon, and Atreus is like, wow, that's a really good dragon statue. Nope, it's a real dragon. You wake it up when you do that.
That's neat. That's cool.
Didn't know that at all. I thought when I looked that up afterward, I was like, oh, that wasn't a trophy? That's kind of surprising. Collect all the books. Yeah, that's a 100% thing. All the artifacts.
How good were contextual actions in this game? Like,
what do you mean?
If you were doing something stupid, a character mentioned it. It was like, why are you being dumb? Like, when you're at...
Oh my god, what a fucking riot, dude.
When you're at Sindri and Brock's
10 out of 10.
I threw my axe at Nidhogg's children at the bottom of the tree.
I did it like 50 times.
Atreus is like, there's no way you could reach them, Dad. What are you doing, you fucking idiot?
Oh, man.
Or like, when you pick up like the items in Asgard, Heimdall's like, wow, just march into our home and steal our shit. And I was like, that's dope.
I'm fucking gonna do that, asshole. What are you gonna do about it? Besides be more of a prick than you already are. No, it's like when you're in Alfheim with Tyr, Odin.
Whatever. Oh yeah, and he's like, what are you doing?
He's like, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm like, I'm getting some stuff. He's like, oh,
Dad likes loot.
I text you. He's like, yeah, my dad likes loot. I was like, do you fucking not? Like, I could get better shit out of this box.
That's when I knew he was Odin.
Yeah, he knew. The fact that he just fucked up at the last second and Brock was like, wait a minute here. He called him Loki. He's never called him that before. And he's like, stab. I was like, oh, come on, man.
Yeah. I was drinking the Odin Kool-Aid. Like, Odin didn't do anything wrong for most of the game. And, like, there's background. Like, we know what he did to Mimir. We know what he did to Freya.
Yeah.
We didn't see those things happen.
And Thrud is like, what are you saying about my grandpa? My grandpa's pretty fucking cool. You don't know any of that stuff.
He's pretty chill. Yeah.
You don't know any of that stuff. And then later she's like, oh, he is a bad guy.
But he was a bad guy.
He's a bad guy. I guess the only thing I can say while looking at the trophy list right now is battling the Valkyrie Queen. She's just like chilling on a platform in Muspelheim. And if you go there, she's like, you want to go? You want to go? You can just like turn around and walk away. And she's like, yeah, that's what I thought, bitch. And you just leave. And you can come back later and be like, all right, I'm level 9 now. And she's like, you want to go? And I'm like, yeah. And I beat the shit out of her. And she was like, oh, man. Kill me. And I was like, what? Every single time in the game, they're like, no, we have to not kill this person. They're like, but we have to anyway. And they're like, it is the honorable way. And they kill them. And I was like, oh, come on. Like, I was going to do that. Give me a break.
Nope. I guess I'm so nitpicky with it because it is my first $70 game.
You didn't buy Returnal for $70?
No, I waited for at least some money off of Returnal.
I thought you bought it like super.
So this was like the first game that I bought at the new price point.
I'm
a little nitpicky for that.
I'm trying to think of like any like overworld bitching. I think if you knew what a quest was, the fact that it didn't say like the flowering of the blooming of the 9 realms in an area, it just said undiscovered when I knew that was what was going to be there. That was a little stupid, right?
Yeah, if you already had that quest, that's pretty dumb.
That was dumb.
That's dumb.
I just realized every time I did the spoilers, you dumb fuck, I did it backwards because I was looking at the wrong camera.
Whoopsie.
Spoilers.
So is this making your top 10? Is this in your GOTY list?
I gotta see how many games I've played. I mean, it's probably like 8. It's not in the top 5, maybe.
Yeah, it's not up there for me either.
It's certainly not out of the top 10. I just wouldn't give it. I'd give it like it's like an 8.2. It's pretty fucking solid. I have a lot of problems with the combat. When I bitch about having like a thing and I record it and I look at it and post, I look at it in Premiere and see how bad something is. The fact that I actually uploaded the footage to YouTube to show other people, that is when you know something's kind of fucked. The one frame enemy 180 attacks that happened multiple times, I was like, that's pretty egregious, bro.
And they like jump over to you if they're a little far away.
Yeah,
it's kind of BS.
It happens just enough times. Is that it? Good?
I give it 7.7.
Wow, that's less than I did.
I don't know.
I definitely wouldn't say less than an 8.
I don't rank things by 10 out of 10 scores. I just make up numbers.
A man with 3 Xbox 360s.
You have to say this game is amazing, and then you have to be like 2.6. So because we were mostly negative, we have to be like 9.8.
What's the rarity of the first game's platinum? Because this one's at 27%. What's the other one?
That's pretty common.
28%. They're both.
I was gonna guess in the 30s, so I was.
They're both about the same.
Off.
Yeah. I mean, don't watch this if you haven't finished the game, Patrick. I guess I'll have to tell you that not here because you would have read all of this and been spoiled by now, Patrick. But
Definitely spoiled.
I think we're not the target audience.
No, because we don't love the combat.
It's about dad stuff, man. We don't have a small...
Oh, I don't think... Because, like, the dad stuff in 2018 really resonated with me. I thought that was really strong.
Yeah, I think it was the whole love and forgiveness thing in this where I was like, I just want to kill everything. Just let me
like, this one's just weird because it's like, there's absolutely no reason to keep all your secrets. If you all just fucking talked, there would be no problem.
Oh, the number of sticky note problems in this was a lot higher than it should have been.
Yeah. And, like, Odin's deal at the beginning is, like, a pretty solid deal. It's basically like, don't kill me, and we're good.
Yeah, I think the only reason that is because he probably knows that this guy's up to some fucking business, and if I say that, it's probably some weird magical binding contract where I now am enable, I can't kill him if I had to.
Yeah.
But I think he just wanted to say no because he's Kratos.
The game was fine.
Yeah, it was fine. It's fine. Play Tunic.
Play Tunic.
Play Tunic.